It's parents' night in. It's parents' night in. Yeah.
Oh my God. Welcome to our lives, everybody. It's scarier than the movie we're about to watch.
I've always thought so. That's why horror movies don't scare me. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween!
I'm Justin.
And I'm a wicked shrew named Kelly.
Yep, a wicked witch.
I'm not a witch.
Tonight,
I'm a ghost. Ooh.
This is an episode of Parents' Night In that is specially Halloween themed just for you.
Ooh.
Tonight we're going to watch a really old classic horror movie known as Frankenstein.
Frankensteiner?
Wait, Frankenstein. It's a movie about a man who makes a monster out of dead people. So at the very beginning, they have this guy come out and be like, just so you know, this movie's going to fuck you up psychologically. So if you're not sure you can handle it, maybe get out.
I'm surprised the F word made it past standards back then.
What? I'm paraphrasing. He says, Mr. Lemley feels that if this movie will freak you out, perhaps you should leave now, you pussies.
Wow.
Yeah, he says that. It's kind of rude, but...
I'm guessing that he didn't have a lot of friends since he speaks so rudely to everybody in the theater.
Didn't.
Look at his face. He's all smug, too. What a little shit.
Yeah. He's like, get out, you fucking douchebags.
Frankenstein. I'm going to say it like that the whole movie now. Thanks a lot.
That's not at all going to be annoying.
You started it. You owe yourself that pleasure. What?
What? I owe myself a lot of pleasure. I'll be right back. Anyway, the reason that was in there is because they were legitimately concerned audiences might find this film too much.
We open on a bunch of people crying in a graveyard.
Bunch of people crying because someone died.
It's quite morbid.
Well, there's a lot of morbid moments in this film considering it came out in 1931.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't watch this film until a couple years after Justin and I got together because I was not into monster movies, ever.
You had never seen this before we got together?
No, every monster movie you've ever shown me, it's the first time I've ever seen it.
Wow. What did you think when you first saw it?
I mean, I think early on I sort of was like, well, he really likes these, so I'll watch them and see what I think. But now it's just sort of become like a nostalgic tradition kind of thing, and I like them. I appreciate them for what they are, and there's lots of cool visual elements, and
I love them photographically.
Yeah.
If only for that reason. I mean, that's not the only reason, but like, if nothing else, they're gorgeous looking films. I love black and white movies anyway, and James Whale's films have this really nice expressionist kind of feel to them where there's a lot of great use of shadows and exaggerated sets and angles, and like all the gravestones in this scene are crooked. It's this weird, like, off-putting kind of visual.
Yeah.
Sort of nightmarish.
Oh, hi, Kitty. Kitty came down.
She's not even a black cat for Halloween.
We should paint her.
We should paint her. We should paint her black. Hello, cat.
Like the Doors song. I see
Rolling
my
Stones?
kitty and... Right, the Rolling Stones.
Jesus.
I see my kitty and I want to paint her black.
Wow.
I should be in a cover band.
No.
Oh, rude. You're supposed to support me in everything I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe I'll do an all-girls cover band of
Called
the Rolling Stones called the Rolling Boobs.
How about the Whoring Stones? So Dr. Frankenstein and his assistant are digging up this freshly buried body so they can use it for the experiments.
A couple of creeps they are.
Yeah, this right here is already morbid. Grave robbing.
Right.
This is a family film.
They're all like sweaty, and one of them's a hunchback.
Yeah, why did he choose a hunchback? Could he not find anyone else that would get involved in his perverted experiments with him?
Well, yeah, everyone else is like, dude, I got a farm and shit. Leave me alone.
I guess.
And he's like,
I can't work on the farm. No one will hire me.
Hire me because I'm creepy.
Because I can't stand upright.
That's okay. I don't mind creepy. You can hang out with me.
I can't castrate a horse if I can't reach his nuts.
Oh my God.
What?
He's probably closer to the nuts. He's all bent over.
Maybe small horses.
Well, he's not like a super short guy. He just has humps on his shoulders.
He walks hunched over.
His humps. His lovely shoulder humps.
God.
Check him out. Now there's like a
That
hanging.
reference was 12 years old.
Now there's like well, I mean, this movie's a million years old, so
Yes. So therefore,
I'm
really
allowed.
out-of-date pop culture references are
Shut up, or
apropos.
I'm going to start talking about Juice Newton.
Who?
Juice Newton. Just call me angel of the morning, Frankenstein. Wow. No?
He's climbing up on the gallows pole.
Cut down the body that is hanging. What's his name?
Fritz.
No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't
I
work.
need 2 syllables.
Yep. Dwight Fry is the actor's name.
Dwight Fry!
There you go. Wow.
Anyways, so as they're dragging away the dead body, they find a freshly hanging corpse.
They say, oh, 2 for 1 day.
Yeah, woo! And Fritz is like, oh, I don't want to. And he's like, do it!
Get up there.
And Fritz is like, that's
And
fine.
Fritz
I
is like,
have
dude, I
shoulder
can't even
humps."
stand up straight. How am I going to climb this fucking 15-foot pole?
Like, my shoulder pads are in the way. What am I going to
What the
do?
hell? So then he sends Fritz to this laboratory. Wait, isn't that the guy who was in the introduction? Who told us that we should get out of the theater if we can't handle this movie? He's in the movie too?
How many years have I watched this movie?
13. And you just realized it was the same guy?
Yep.
Wow.
Because you told me.
Edward Van Sloan. Yes. He was also Van Helsing in the old Dracula movie.
That makes sense to me. That I can see.
Yeah.
Never would have picked up on the other thing.
Wow. His history. His rolled R.
Because he sounds just like the,
Van Helsing?
yeah. Because he doesn't change his accent.
His rolled R's are way over the top. Our vampire.
Well, when we watch other movies, we'll have things like, seriously.
Seriously. So this class is over, and now Fritz is going to break into the laboratory and steal some shit.
Notice how many women were studying brains.
It's very progressive.
Pretty
this movie.
progressive for 1931.
Yeah.
This year, Grampy was born.
Oh,
My Grampy was born in 31.
well, he's the same
What
age
if my
as-
Grampy's Frankenstein?
Maybe he's the Frankenstein monster.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Have you ever? I mean, a
Frankenstein?
telltale sign would be if at dinner he's just like, "Ah, ah, turkey, good."
No,
No, that didn't happen.
I don't think he's Frankenstein.
So he takes the normal brain. For some reason, he takes the cover off of it. I don't understand that. I like how the brains are conveniently labeled normal and abnormal. And he's like, I dropped the good brain. Well, I'll just take this one. Whatever. A brain's a brain. It's fine. What could go wrong?
Probably nothing.
That always bugged me.
He's probably like, it's not going to work anyway.
That always bugged me that, like, it's just so on the nose. Like, oh, this monster has a criminal brain, so therefore he's a murderous asshole.
I don't understand your problem.
That was not in the book. In the book, it's just the monster starts killing people because he gets abandoned and everyone hates him. And, like, he's a product of his environment. He's not inherently evil.
Yeah, but in this, he's like inherently evil, but he has sweet moments.
Yes, he does. So it sort of undermines that kind of dichotomy. They should have just left out the thing about the abnormal brain. Anyway, so the book...
That's a hole in the plot.
It is a hole. This movie has a few plot holes. The book is obviously a very superior bit of storytelling. It's much more complex. It's much more lofty. The monster is very eloquent and intelligent, and he has most of the best dialogue.
Does he say things like, please bring me some caviar?
He does not talk like Edward Van Sloan, no.
Oh. Please, sir, if you will, sir, can you please bring me, sir, some caviar, sir?
You know, if you're not going to take this seriously. So, Henry's best friend, Victor. See, the names are switched. In the novel, it's Victor Frankenstein. In this, it's Henry Frankenstein.
What is their problem?
I don't know why they changed the names. Anyway, Henry is... fuck, I did it again. Victor is going to Henry's bride-to-be and cock-blocking him, basically.
You know what?
Saying, Henry's crazy. I think... I don't know about this guy. I think you should find someone more stable. I'm stable.
Yeah.
I like you a lot.
This is a
Elizabeth.
dick move in any generation.
It is.
Yeah.
Cock block.
Her dresses are gorgeous in every scene, by the way.
Yes.
The costuming is beautiful.
As are the sets.
Yeah.
I love the vertical sets. Like there's
Yes.
beams at the ceiling.
Yeah.
There's just tons of great details in every shot. James Whale was a master of set design.
Shoot, I was going to say something and now I forget what it was. It was super important.
I'm sorry.
Probably wasn't that important.
Probably not.
I know what I was going to say. When they're doing their single camera stuff, their reaction shots, and they're talking to the other person, it's very clear that they're actually not talking to the other person. Like, it seems like the other person's not actually on the other end of their gaze in a lot of the scenes. Where it's like they're clearly looking off camera, but not at a person's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, they hadn't quite figured out blocking scenes yet. I mean, this was still very early in...
It's not a judgment, it's just something I've noticed.
Especially in talkies, but also the screen was much narrower than current movies, so there's a lot of movies like this where they'll show one person talking and then they'll do a two-shot, and the other person is like right next to them, but in the single shot, clearly they were not there.
Right. Like in this...
Bride of Frankenstein has some
what's her
stuff
name?
like that. Mae Clark.
Okay. So in a lot of her scenes, when she's looking off camera talking to somebody, like when you're talking to a person, your eyes move. And her eyes never move.
Because she's looking at
Like
her...
she's blinking.
They probably have a piece of paper that says, "Look here."
Right. And it's not like she's reading lines or anything.
No.
Her eyes aren't even moving. But
Right.
like when you look in someone's eyes and you're talking to them, you sort of like you dart back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that's why it's noticeable to me. It's like her performance comes across as a little stiff, even though she's emoting with her voice.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything with her face.
There was a lot of that in movies of this era anyway, because most of these people were theater actors.
Gloria Stewart was wonderful, though.
Gloria Stewart was in The Invisible Man. Gloria Stewart, yes, the same one that was in Titanic. The old lady on the ship with the diamond. Titanic, sorry. Movies of this era had a lot of theater actors because those are the only actors they could get that could handle dialogue and
Emoting.
and moving.
Oh, yeah, the scene, yeah.
Because like silent actors of the time, a lot of them were just used to emoting
Yes.
physically.
And most of them said things like, "I can't stand him."
Yep.
That was a reference to Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain. So, like Colin Clive, who plays Henry Frankenstein, he worked with James Whale in the theater. Dwight Fry worked in the theater.
Oh, James Whale was a theater director, too?
Originally, yeah.
He transitioned to film?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there was a lot of that.
Was he an EGOT?
Because what?
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Oh,
It's a very exclusive club.
uh-huh.
That was so dismissive. You don't see his face right now, but he basically was like, whatever, I'm talking. Go back to the kitchen and make me a pie.
There were a lot of...
Preferably apple.
As with actors, there were a lot of directors who, again, had to deal with both dramatics and dialogue simultaneously. So they needed directors that could handle both of those things.
But yeah, and I'm guessing that the theater actors on a stage were probably much more emotive and
Well,
they
yes,
were probably told like, okay, you can't move. Like we blocked your shot. You
Right.
have the light. Don't move a muscle. So I get that.
Yes, and also, I mean, just their voice acting, they were used to being way over the top and having
And
to play,
projecting, yeah.
and playing to the cheap seats, whereas in
Right.
film you don't have to do that, but they hadn't quite adjusted to that yet.
Right.
So there's a lot of kind of hammy performances in these old movies for that reason.
What? Like our friend Beulah.
Who?
Isn't that her name? The woman in The Invisible Man.
No, Una O'Connor.
Una.
Yeah.
Not Beulah.
We haven't been talking about much of the plot, but
Everyone knows the story.
Henry and Fritz are getting ready to create their monster. They're in their laboratory, which is one of the all-time great movie sets ever.
There's lots of thunder.
This set is amazing.
They have a lot of cool like bubbling
at this-
potions and like the
The set with the giant staircase.
yeah, the giant
so
staircase
cool.
is cool. It looks like a legitimate stone castle.
Yes.
The walls are gorgeous. When Fritz walks by things, his shadow is huge compared to him. It's like 2 feet taller than him.
Yeah.
So they used light really well in this
Some
movie.
of the expressionist lighting. One thing that always bugged me about this movie is there's these gothic sets and then people show up in 1930s clothes. It just feels incongruous.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Is that the word? Well, because the book takes place 100 years before this. Like, it was written in the
They don't drive cars in the book.
18 teens or whatever.
The 18 teens.
1818, I think, is when it was first published. So it's been 100 years at this point, but they didn't set it back in the early 1800s. They set it in present day. So everyone has, like, the 1930s fashion.
OMG, YG.
So Henry and Fritz have been interrupted by all of Henry's friends. He's like, what? What do you want? Go away. My male companion and I are busy doing things.
Behind locked doors.
Behind locked doors.
Just shut your mouth.
Metaphor.
Wow.
Yeah, his fiancée and his best friend and his professor have shown up. This seemed very weird, too, that he would let them come in and watch as he does this horribly illegal experiment.
But it's his wife.
But it's
To be.
horribly illegal.
Yeah, but like people do
Creating
that all the
dead
time.
people.
They're like, here you go. I'm gonna snort this white stuff in my nose. Want to watch me?
Yeah.
You should join too. I mean, same thing, same diff.
I'm going to inject this heroin right into my balls.
Oh my God! Is that really where people do it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Am I a heroin expert?
I certainly am not.
I can feel my dick.
What are we drinking tonight, Justin Ballard?
We're drinking Telling Bird. It is a Zinfandel that I got through First Leaf. It was just a random selection, and I liked it so much I ordered 6 more of them because it's a really good wine. It opens right up. 2014 vintage. Delicious!
Yes, I'm enjoying it.
I like it.
I like red Zinfandel.
Wine, good.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Good. Oh,
we're getting
I'm
ahead.
sorry. We'll save that for the second movie.
He hasn't even been born.
Oh. Colin
So
Clive.
right now he's explaining how he's gotten to where he is. So
Yeah,
they
and that's
haven't seen
another thing.
anything.
He's like, this body has never lived. I made it from bodies I stole from the graves. He has no problem telling everyone he knows that he is a grave robber.
Have you seen his face in this movie? He's fucking crazy.
I know that. That's
He's
just,
crazy.
But why
From
wouldn't
the
they have-
very beginning of this movie, he has crazy eyes. When they're in the
Yeah,
grave
I
digging,
know.
he's got crazy eyes.
They should have had him committed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
But his fiance's like, oh, okay, whatever. Let's get married.
He seems really stressed. I think maybe after the wedding, he'll probably be fine. He's gonna be fine after the wedding,
He
and everything will be fine,
really
guys.
needs to get laid.
Listen, you guys, no, seriously, let's just get married and then we'll figure it out, guys. Okay, guys?
You guys.
And meanwhile, you guys are like, she doesn't know. Someone needs to tell her that he's crazy. She doesn't even know it.
He's cray.
You guys, should we tell her before the
I
wedding?
mean, Victor Moritz was right to cockblock this guy, I think.
Yeah, Victor Moritz was right.
dude,
even though it was a dick move.
Elizabeth, I know he's my best friend and he's in love with you, but you can't marry this guy. He's fucking nuts.
Well, that's what he said. He said you need someone more stable.
Yeah. You need someone who rhymes with Dick, and my name's Vic, and my name's Victor, and I'm your man. What?
Did you want to try that again? Try it again. We rewound it.
You need a guy who's...
That was awful. While Justin was flubbing his lines that I don't even know how you flub
They
them.
were striking the monster with lightning using the equipment invented by Kenneth Strickfaden, a genius inventor whose equipment appears in every Frankenstein movie.
an actual person?
Yeah, he's the guy who invented all these machines that go zzz, like Jacob's ladders and the globes with the, what do you call those? The globes with the lightning that touches
Is
your
Jacob's
hands.
ladder the V thing and the...
Yeah, it goes
Yeah, and the lightning travels up it?
Yeah, it's super cool.
Does it serve any purpose other than a cool visual?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in the story, it's supposed to be like
Doing something.
doing
right,
something,
right.
but it's just
I always
'cause
assumed it was
looks
just a
cool.
movie prop. I just
Okay,
wasn't-
so my least favorite part of this movie is Henry's father.
He's an idiot.
He's a buffoon.
Wait, this is Henry's father?
Yeah.
I thought it was her father.
No, it's Henry's father. Henry is the son of this Baron, Baron von Frankenstein. He's this buffoon. He's there for comic relief, and it's not necessary to the story at all.
And he's not funny.
He's not funny.
I don't find him
He's
funny
just
at all.
annoying.
Yeah, I always found him to be just like a curmudgeon.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to be in this movie. And what is he
We
wearing?
want to get married, Dad. He's wearing a smoking jacket. He's wearing a polka
It's
dotted
like a
bow tie.
fez?
He has a fez with a giant tassel on it.
He looks ridiculous. And he doesn't really figure into the story at all. He's just there. And he's got this weird growth on his neck. Like,
For
what
this
is-
one scene, right? He's only here for the one scene.
No,
or is he here
he
later?
shows up later. Like, he goes all the way to the laboratory for no reason. I need to see my son. So they went to Henry's father and told on him. They didn't really tell on him. He was just like, why is there no wedding? Why? And he's like, oh, he's really busy. He's actually, I guess they're trying to cover for him. Even though they just found out that he steals dead bodies and he made a monster out of the dead bodies. And they're like, no, Henry's fine. He's fine. He's just really busy. The wedding can wait, Dad.
You guys, I just think he's really stressed out. I'm just gonna plan the wedding myself. He doesn't have to be involved. It's fine. I'll pick the flowers.
We can get married next year. There's always
Yeah.
next year.
Maybe we'll elope.
Maybe you'll be dead by then, because you're annoying. Old man. What?
He is so rude.
And Henry's dad accuses him of cheating. He's like, no, it's not that. There's another woman. This right here is...
He says that in front of the girl.
Yeah. There's another woman, isn't there? I'm going to find her.
That's why he goes to the lab. thinking he's going to find his son.
He's going to find some slut locked up in a closet. Henry, let the slut out of the closet. I know there's another woman and she's preventing your wedding.
You know what? Maybe he thinks there's like an ex machina.
That doesn't sound
on.
at all like the Baron.
No.
Yeah, he thinks he created lady robots to fuck them. This is a great scene. His professor's like, dude, what are you doing? And Henry's getting all philosophical about how he just wants to know how things work. He just wants to know how the universe works, and life and death, secrets. He admits that he stole the brain from the professor's laboratory. He just said, the brain came from your laboratory. And the professor's like, oh, well, no, you stole the wrong one, dude.
So now he just drops the news that the brain that was stolen from the laboratory is a criminal brain. And Frankenstein's like, shit.
Whatever. It's just a brain.
He literally is like, what? Oh, wait, it's fine.
But the professor's like...
A brain's a brain.
The professor's first response isn't, you fucking maniac. You broke into my lab and stole my shit? What the fuck?
Nope, he's just like, oh, the brain you stole is criminal brain, by the way. Look, bro. Good luck.
Oh, here he comes. I can hear his footsteps. This is the big scene where we see the monster for the first time.
Here comes the monster!
Ladies and gentlemen!
Here comes the monster!
The moment you've been waiting for!
Here comes the monster!
Boris Karloff!
So many people won't even get what's going on.
I don't care.
And it doesn't matter because we're having fun.
The only thing is, why does he walk in backwards? It's very weird.
Because for dramatic effect, when he turns around, it's like, oh, shit.
I know, but it's such a weird contrivance.
Well, you know what, Justin?
What?
He was just born.
So he doesn't know how to enter a room?
It's like, you know what? I'm going to use a really good, important analogy here. It's like when Frosty the Snowman wakes up and says, happy birthday! Like, it doesn't make sense because it's no one's birthday. Well, it's his birthday, I guess.
That's a great analogy. You've reduced this to a stupid children's cartoon.
Lots of people love Frosty.
So he got the monster to sit down. The monster already understands sit. So he's roughly intelligent as a dog.
He does not look very comfortable, though.
No, especially with his hands out stiff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do with his hands.
He's like
Ricky Bobby.
He's like Ricky Bobby.
Never know what to do with my hands. So he opens the skylight, and Frankenstein's like, whoa.
Whoa.
You know what I find really interesting? Frankenstein's jacket the monster. Frankenstein's monster. His jacket is the correct length.
It was like a Ted Robin moment.
I mean, you were literally Ted, but whatever.
Figuratively!
So if you haven't noticed this before, when the monster is standing there and his arms are down, his jacket is the proper fit and length.
Yeah.
But his sleeves are like almost, not even 3/4. They're almost like half sleeves.
Right.
What kind of weird person did he steal this jacket from?
Yes.
That is a giant monster with tiny arms.
Where did he get these clothes? Where did he get the boots?
Yeah.
These gigantic 6-inch tall boots.
You know what? He probably has a blacksmith, and he was like, hey, blacksmith, I stole a bunch of body parts. Can you make me a coat with these dimensions? And then the blacksmith was like, yeah, it's totally normal.
Wait, blacksmiths know how to sew?
Sorry, the blacksmith made the boots.
What?
The tailor did the sewing.
He went to his tailor and was like, I need a gigantic jacket with huge shoulder pads.
And you know who probably helped him? Hercules Mulligan.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
a tailor spying on the mad scientist. I take the measurements and I make them really big.
That was awful.
That was awful.
I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. They're beating him up because...
Oh, it's so rude. Now Fritz keeps yelling at this monster.
Yeah, and the monster's chained to the wall. Well, Fritz is, probably like, sweet, finally someone lower on the totem pole than me.
Yeah, I guess. Fritz is a little shit. Some of the scenes in this movie were cut from, maybe not the original version, but like re-releases, like that scene where he's like tormenting him with the torch. The censors decided that was too...
That's really mean.
Mean, so they cut it. It's very strange.
I totally feel for the monster this whole movie. It makes me sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're kind of supposed to.
I feel for this monster.
In the book, you would feel for
Dumbo.
him. In the book, you would feel for him even more.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to read it.
You should read it. It's great. Oh, he hung Fritz by his whip. Stupid Fritz.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Fritzy no come back, huh?
Nope. Fritz died. Beep bop boop boop. Fritz died. Must have a power. You know, Waldman, you could save us a lot of time if you would just stop at the fucking rolled R's.
Yeah.
You could talk a lot faster.
This movie would end at least 45 seconds sooner.
Easily.
Yeah.
I will destroy the monster Frankenstein. Dude, that took way too long for you to say. I'm dead
just
now.
call me Stein. Can you call me Stein?
I'm already dead.
I think you should just call me Stein.
Swing your torch. Oh, hypodermic needle.
So he must not have gotten all the stuff in there.
Oh, he got all the stuff in there. It just takes time to activate. But he's lucky it didn't take a second longer or he'd be dead. The monster's like, oh, what? Oh, I feel kind of good now. What did you shoot me with? Was that crystal meth? I can see my hands.
Now somebody else is at the door.
I have music in my eyes.
See
who's at the door.
I'm all right. It's nothing. Just a giant monster knocked me to the ground and bumped my head.
It's a good thing Victor was the first one to arrive because he already knows about the monster. But what if the dad showed up first? Victor, this is the other woman? Oh my God. It's worse than I thought.
There can't be a marriage here. That's a cool tunnel.
Yeah, it's not even a tunnel. It's just like an angular thing that juts out just to have that cool light effect.
Oh, it's still very cool.
It's part of the room. Yeah, it's a nice production design choice.
There is a lot of depth in the design.
Yes. There's a lot of stuff in the foreground and background. There's a lot of cool stuff to look at. Look at that thing on his neck.
It's a goita.
Jesus. Dad, why did you bring 2 guests?
Who did Invisible Man?
James Well.
Same guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't cast Una O'Connor in every female part.
Maybe he didn't discover her until Invisible Man, and then he was like, well, we're using her again, obviously.
How far in was that?
That was 2 years after this and 2 years before Bride.
There was 4 years between this and Bride?
Yep.
Wow.
He was reluctant to do a sequel initially. The studio obviously wanted him doing because this was a huge hit.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I don't know. Sequels are stupid. That's a dumb idea. Like, that was one of the earliest sequels. And after Invisible Man was also a hit, the studio was like, dude, you need to do another Frankenstein. And he was like, fine.
So anyway, Frankenstein is kind of like in a fit a little bit, and they're all sort of like,
Okay, now we're really worried.
Now we think you might really be crazy. We stood by you while you created an artificial human, but now you're fainting. That's where we draw the line, Henry. You need help.
if you can't stay conscious,
We are not going to support you anymore.
What I want to know is why Waldman was so like he's taking notes and shit, and just kill the thing, like cut off its head.
let's perform dissection at once.
Why are you dissecting it? Just cut the head off. Get a blade and cut the head off.
Why would you dissect it live?
You dumb shit.
Is it ethical to do this?
Probably not, but just shoot it or cut the head off. The monster is playing possum. Why is this guy cutting into my stomach? I don't like this. I'm going to break his neck.
Bye, Professor.
What a dumbass. Yeah, Boris Karloff was not a large man either.
Was he ever in anything that was not a monster movie?
Oh, yeah. This was his 81st film.
I'm sorry. What?
This was his 81st movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so Karloff worked in relative obscurity for years and years and years and years. And James Whale saw him in the Universal Commissary, which, why don't they just call it a cafeteria?
I think a commissary and a cafeteria might be different in nature.
Oh.
But I don't know.
So.
Maybe Justin looked stuff up on Google, can tell us.
So James Whale had already been assigned to the movie, and they were like, okay, figure out who you want to play the monster. And he saw him in the commissary, and he was like,
oh, you look like a hideous monster. Would you like to be in my movie?
No, I mean, he was like, your face is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you look cadaverous. Like, this is perfect. And Karloff, who had just started to make a little bit of money at this acting gig, had just bought himself a new suit and was like kind of fancy.
Trying to look debonair.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I look handsome today. And this director calls him over and he's like, oh, you look like a corpse. Want to
Right.
be in my movie?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's...
And Karloff was like, oh, well, sure. What am I going to turn down work?
Right.
And the makeup
He
took...
was like, so like a handsome corpse? Am I a handsome corpse? Am I like the love interest corpse?
So then Jack Pierce, who was the Universal makeup guy, came up with...
Jack Pearson from This Is Us?
No. Either came up with or helped come up with the design, but came up with the fabrication. And it took like 3.5 hours to put on and 3.5 to take off.
So did they originate this look, or was it drawn in the book in a way? Like
No, they originated.
This is the origination.
Yes, the monster in the book looks nothing like he does in the movie. Yeah, the square head and the bolts coming out of the neck, none of that was in the book.
Cool.
And the bolts on the neck, do you know
Well,
what those?
if you-
Do you know what those are for?
Electricity.
Yes, conductors.
Yes. You know why?
Because I told you. Uh-oh, it's Maria. I want to live in that area. Look at that. Look at that view.
Gorgeous.
They live right on a lake. So she's playing with the little kitty, and her dad's like, I gotta go into town, so you play and have fun. And then the monster shows up.
She's so cute. Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Daddy.
She's adorable, and her kitty's cute.
Oh, shit, she's gonna die.
Justin.
What?
These people have at least a minute and a half before that happens. I don't know why you're ruining everything. You're like that person in the movie theater. Oh, my God! Run, Maria, run!
Jump in the lake. Wait, no, don't jump in the lake. Because even though you've been raised right by a lake, you still don't know how to swim, apparently.
I'm Maria, and even though I'm playing a foot from the ocean shore, I have never learned to swim.
Nice parenting, Maria's dad. Where's Maria's mom?
Maybe she fell in the lake.
It's hereditary, apparently. The lack of swimming ability.
You would think after the mom dying,
would think they would have
maybe they would have
moved.
moved, yeah. Or like hired a swim coach.
I can't raise another person by this lake.
He raised his wife? That's weird.
I mean,
So Frankie likes flowers.
he does like flowers. Fingers. I have fingers. She's throwing the flowers in the lake.
Yeah, she's making them like a boat. So she takes the head off the daisy and she throws it in the water and it floats like a boat.
And then he throws
And
his
then-
in.
And then he throws his in.
And then he says,
"You look like a boat.
You look like a boat.
I'm out of pretty things to hold in my hands and throw in the water. I think I shall take you."
Then he throws her in and she just sinks right to the bottom. Apparently she's made of lead. Apparently she had a lot of iron that day.
As a mom, that scene horrifies me.
You're afraid that some fake human is going to come and throw your kid into the lake?
It doesn't matter if someone throws him in or if he falls in. It just scares me. And you know what? Now the dad's just going to ruin their Oktoberfest. All
So-
like, oh, something happened to me, so you can't drink and have fun.
The VHS copy of this that I had as a kid
Yeah.
had a lot of that scene cut out. As soon as he throws the flower in and then he looks and he's like, oh, and he reaches for her, they cut right to the dancing in the town and you miss the entire
Right,
thing.
because they probably were like, this is fucking horrifying.
The censors were like, this is horrifying. But
It is horrifying.
it actually makes it more sinister because it's also missing his reaction to her drowning, where he's like, oh shit, what did I just do?
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes it look like
Because he does what we didn't talk about just now.
There's
Is that
regret.
He runs away scared. He's like, oh shit.
Right.
And he
He's
runs
horrified.
away like, what? Why did I do that?
So it actually removes the pathos of the scene. So
Well,
it-
you also don't know that she drowns necessarily.
Well, you find out
he-
later.
I guess he says it, yeah. But when you first see the dad, he's just walking through town with
the dead
daughter
body
dangling from his arms.
Yeah, and you're like, it adds the connotation that he killed her like willingly.
I'm not the biggest fan of the headwear of this era. Just as a general
It looks
rule.
ridiculous.
But her dress is gorgeous and her train is gorgeous.
The set, the
Not
set
her train,
is
her
gorgeous.
veil. And the set's amazing. But her veil, the head part of her veil is stupid. Makes her look like a nun. But her dress
They
is
look like the world's
beautiful.
longest pigtails.
Yeah. She looks like if Princess Leia got married.
Her acting in the scene's way over the top. Something's happening.
Yeah, but it's
I
better.
can feel
It's
it.
better than the stiff stuff she was doing earlier on.
I guess.
She's been through a lot, Justin.
I felt it all day. What has she been through? Other than she saw her husband birth a dead body.
Fair point. Everybody goes through that once in their life.
If you haven't gone through that, you haven't lived, Kelly.
She's got an awful lot of cleavage for this era, too.
Not as much as Elsa Lanchester did in the second movie, in the prologue.
When she's sitting down sewing.
Yeah, she got some hoo-has.
Elsa Lanchester, who plays one of the maids in Mary Poppins.
And Mary Poppins, yeah. That's somebody knocking at the door, dear.
Yeah.
It's Victor. You know Victor.
What's that? What's that?
Yeah, I'm not the crazy one here, honey. You are now.
Then he locks her in her room, though. He's like, you have to be safe. Locks her in her room completely by herself. Leaves
Yeah.
the 3 bridesmaids outside.
Yeah.
And is like, you need to stay here. You'll be safe.
She hears somebody knock. What's that? What's that? Snakes.
Justin.
What?
She's been through a lot.
He's been through more, I think.
Yeah, but he caused
He created a dead person, and then the dead person died, he thinks.
He caused it.
And now he thinks the dead person's back.
Well, that's because the dead person's back.
Oh.
But you know what? He reaped what he sowed.
Why did they run upstairs when they heard the noise? That was an odd choice. Clearly, he climbed in through the 3rd story window. So does the monster know who this person is that he's stalking right now? Because that's not made clear. Does he know
That's
that
true. I don't
it's
know.
Henry's house? Or is it just some random house he just wandered into?
She screams and he goes, almost like an angry cat.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, we gotta break in the door, break down the door. Even though I locked it.
He locked it and he took the key with him? Couldn't he just leave the key there?
Yeah. But she's fine. Like,
Does she faint?
yeah, like he doesn't kill her. What did he do to her?
Well, he trashed the room.
He trashed the room, but he didn't do nothing to her.
Or maybe she tried to throw like a vase at his head and then he ran
Maybe.
away and then she passed out.
Maybe. They should have shown that. Oh no, it's Maria. She died. The dad performs this scene very well.
Yeah.
He's just in shock. That's a pretty,
It's morbid.
it's a very morbid scene. He's
It's,
just
it's a
carrying...
morbid scene for her to play as a
Yeah.
child.
Yep.
And it's a morbid scene for all the kids in the scene.
Yeah,
Like there's tons of kids that are watching her walk by and they're like, hey, that's Maria.
right.
Dead and her father's on. Like,
It's,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's just dark shit.
super morbid.
And he carries this dead
This
body
whole-
all the
this
way into
whole-
town.
This whole part of the storyline kills me. Well, yeah, and by the time he gets to the mayor or the burgomaster or whatever, there's like 150 people behind him.
Yeah,
Well, you know, torches and pitchforks. That's where this stuff comes from.
it's true. This is where the angry villagers thing originated. So then he goes, but she's been murdered. And it's like, how do you know she's been murdered? All you know is that she drowned because you didn't fucking teach her how to swim.
Yeah, but pretty sure she didn't jump in the lake.
How does he know that? He left her alone by a lake and she can't swim.
Maybe because he saw giant cement block-sized footprints next to the lake.
Is he Prince Humperdinck? He can track the footprints?
Humperdinck. There was totally just an extra in the background who looked like Rachel Dratch.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she do the Debbie Downer face? In this village, the number one cause of death among children is monsters.
It's even worse than feline AIDS.
It's official. The monster and I are in love. Whoa, the sky is wrinkled. Why is the sky so wrinkled? Am I stoned?
Well, it looks like sunbeams. I take it
No,
like
it
it's
doesn't.
sunbeams.
It doesn't look like sunbeams. It looks like wrinkles in the sky.
Maybe they should have hired a steamer.
They should have. Excuse me while I
me.
steam the sky. No?
Pardon me, Marcia. Can you steam the backdrops, please? No, I quit.
Look at that shot.
That's bad.
That's awful.
And then Marcia said, "No, I quit." And they were like, "Okay, action."
Fucking Marcia. What a lazy bitch. I don't want to steam the sky. You steam the sky.
Who was Marcia's backup? I don't know. We didn't hire a backup. Damn it!
They're searching. They're searching through the rocks, through the cliffs, through the rocks, through the hills. The hills are alive with the sound of monsters. That's
Wow.
the sound of monsters,
So
isn't
the
it?
monster was hiding, and he found Henry. Now at this point, I think he's just seeking revenge on Henry.
Oh my God, Henry just landed on the torch. Colin Clive was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have drank so much today. My clothes are drenched with alcohol.
Fortunately, he had flame retardant pants.
Yeah.
Now they're going into the windmill.
Going to the windmill.
He's got some weird nostrils.
Yeah, he has very large nostrils. You know what that usually means when you have large nostrils?
Big boogies.
Big fingers.
What is that from?
That's an old joke my dad told me when I was a kid. He's like, you know why gorillas' nostrils are so big? Because their fingers are.
The torches and pitchforks are outside. They have chased.
They have surrounded the windmill.
Yeah, and Henry and the monster are now out on the,
They're struggling.
the windmill balcony.
Oh, he threw that
And then
dummy version of Henry off the balcony. Where did the real Henry go?
Henry fell off the balcony and onto the windmill and then onto the ground.
Henry was supposed to die in this scene.
That would have been super morbid too. I don't know how he survived that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly would have had a broken spine landing on the
Or,
windmill
like-
blade.
Most of his ribs.
Yeah, he would have been dead. But he miraculously survives.
Yeah, and the fact that Henry is so injured, the pitchforks and torches all leave.
Well, not all of them. Some of them
True. Not
stay
before
to
they light it on fire.
Set fire to the windmill.
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess if we're going to go, we might as well take care of this problem once and for all.
The monster threw Henry off the windmill and he landed on the blade. And now, because we are taking him home, we're going to set the windmill on fucking fire.
That is the only way that this problem will be rectified.
That is the only way we're going to burn this monster, because he's a son of a bitch. I don't mean to be rude, but he's a bastard.
This unsavory language is not usually part of my character.
This is a little morbid, too. He's trapped in a burning room.
It's horrifying.
And he's screaming.
And he's screaming.
He's screaming for his life, but there's nothing he can do. Now he's trapped under a beam. And that windmill is going up like a tinderbox.
And they all kind of stay
And look
there.
at that. Look at all those miniature people in front of the miniature windmill. Mm-hmm. I wonder how they made them move like that. They have people under that hill, like, with sticks, like little puppets.
Maybe.
This epilogue is very weird. All the maids are like, is Henry okay? He'll never walk again. But does he want some champagne?
Oh, God.
Then the dad's like, oh, he's fine. What's all this? I want some booze. Elizabeth is still trying to make sure that his nether regions work properly for the wedding night. So could you leave us alone? I am trying to supervise. I don't think his genitals are going to pull through, if I may be honest. That's the end. This movie's very short and sweet. Well, that's the original Frankenstein.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed our silliness.
We hope we enjoyed our brevity, because this movie is very short.
Yeah. Woo!
Brevity is the soul of wit. I'm not sure that's true in this case. We were not very witty.
No.
Pretty sure.
This one was lacking in the wit category.
Was it?
No.
I thought I was a little witty. A little bitty witty. We will see you next time.
Well,
For the Bride of Frankenstein. What?
yes, we will. And I just, well, I don't know. I was going to say something to sum it up, but you cut me off.
Say it.
It's over now.
Say it.
I don't even know what I was going to
Say it!
No, I don't. Goodbye.
Really?
If you haven't watched this movie and you like films, you know, you like older films and black and white films and are interested in early movie making, you should watch them, because there's a lot of cool things in here.
There are a lot of cool things in them.
That, when you actually think about the fact that this was 1931, are really impressive.
Yep. Good night.
Good night. Ooh.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit us at enougha.com, where you can buy official merch. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.